Hi everyone, welcome to Enjoy English School. I'm Steven.
I'm Minnie.
Today's date is May 18th. We're on pages 36 to 39, day 2 of art.
那我们今天5月18号一样在36到39页，今天一样是延续昨天的主题，这个艺术飨宴的部分。
Title once again is Street Art Saves the World.
街头壁画救地球。
More than just pretty pictures, murals lift our spirits and even protect the environment.
壁画不只是好看的图片而已哦，它一样可以让人开心、振奋，甚至可以保护环境。
Right, so when something lifts our spirits, that means that this thing is making us happy. Okay, when we say that we have our spirits are low, that means that we're not very happy, we're not very confident. But when our spirits are high, that means that we're very happy, we have a lot of confidence. So when something is lifting our spirits, that means that this thing is making us happy.
Spirit 其实就有点像是灵魂或者是你的气的感觉，所以如果用 lift lift 的话是抬高嘛，那如果是比较低的话 low 的话，那就是情绪不好。
All right, so let's find out more about these world-changing murals. In San Francisco, another street mural project aims to lift people's hearts.
所以在 San Francisco 旧金山有另外一幅街头的壁画活动，那它的目标是要 lift people's heart， 要激发、激励人心。
Right, so we're directly continuing from yesterday's article.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we're saying in San Francisco, another street mural. So if you see this, if you just came in today and you saw the word another, you could just safely assume that we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, 昨天可能有讲了什么。
Right, so another is a really good way for you to know that we're continuing with the same subject as before, even though this is a new paragraph. Okay, so this project, its goal is to do this thing. So it aims to do something. It wants to do something. So it aims to lift people's hearts. Not literally, it's not really taking people's hearts and raising it to the sky, because that's kind of scary, right? It means figuratively, okay? It's like we said in the beginning, that lifting someone's spirits, right? It makes people happy. When you're lifting people's hearts, it's the same meaning as lifting someone's spirits, okay? It means to make them happy.
所以老师刚刚有讲到 aim 这个字，它其实就是有点像以什么为目标的意思。对，所以呢，我们这边介系词要记得 aim to do something， 然后 lift people's heart 不是真的把你的心脏抬起来啦，意思是说让你的心情愉悦，跟我们前面提到的 lift people's spirit 意思是异曲同工。
Right, so I'll use aim to do something in a sentence. I aim to lose 5 kilograms by February.
Is that
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, but what does that mean? Aim to do something.
就代表他以2月以前要瘦5公斤的目标，不要再瘦了。
对，I need to lose weight. Okay. In 2020, the coronavirus pandemic led to many businesses in the city being shut down.
在2020年的时候呢，新冠肺炎全球大流行导致了城市中很多的店家他们都歇业。
Okay, so when we see the word pandemic, let's talk about the word endemic first. Endemic. That's usually when a virus is kind of like maybe in just one building or in just one small location.
Oh.
It's an endemic. Okay, and usually if like maybe a whole apartment building, everyone is getting sick, then usually we know that maybe something is happening in that apartment building that everyone's getting sick. So it's localized. It's a very small area. But if it's something that is an epidemic, epidemic, that means it's something that is within a country. It's in a larger area, or maybe it's in a whole region. That's an epidemic. Okay, but when it's a pandemic, okay, pandemic, that means that this sickness, this virus, or this disease is happening globally, which is the situation with coronavirus.
所以老师刚刚讲了3个不一样层次的字。第一个是 endemic, endemic， 意思是有点像内部感染，可能我的家里面，甚至我整栋楼内部感染。再来会到 epidemic， 是传染病的 的一个状况是比较像是局限在一个国家内。那我们现在常常看到的 pandemic 这个字，为什么它用 pan？ 它是范围更大的，是全球性的。
Exactly. 所以那个时候像 SARS 它是个 epidemic.
Yes,
因为
SARS
虽然是几个国家，它不是一个国家，可是
小朋友不知道什么是 SARS。
SARS was like coronavirus, but a few like 10 years.
在08年啊。
Yeah, 08年的时候 a while back. But that was in different countries in Asia. Even though it was international,
Yes.
it wasn't the whole world.
It was like under control. 就是已经有被控制下来，不是说每个地方都有，是局限在几个比较重点的国家。
So it's saying that this pandemic led to many businesses in the city being shut down. So when something leads something to do something, that means that it is causing these businesses to shut down. So you could use the word cause. The coronavirus pandemic caused many businesses in the city to be shut down.
Yes.
In this situation, 就后面要讲 to be shut down. Okay. That's sad. This resulted in block after block of depressing, boarded up shop fronts.
那这样子，因为店家歇业，进一步造成了一区又一区 ，block 是区域的意思。那所以大家经营惨淡，然后就是用木板封住店面的这种景象。
所以这个 this resulted in 就是这个导致这件事发生。Okay, so resulted block after block. Actually, in America, like for American cities, because a lot of the cities are very like square. So each square before like between each main road, that is a block.
街区的意思。
对 and it's about maybe like from one red light until the next main road. The intersection. Okay, so that's what the block is. So block after block 就是持续这样子一直走下去的话，会非常的有郁感 depressing, and then 会看得到一些 boarded up shop fronts. 什么是个 shop front? A shop front is the face of a shop.
店门口。
Okay, 然后是被 boarded up. Okay, so
整个木板钉起来盖住的意思。
Yeah, and then depressing 跟 boarded up, they're two adjectives. So 我们要用一个 comma 来分开。Okay, an art agency called Building 180 and a non-profit organization named Art for Civil Discourse decided to do something about it and created Paint the Void.
那一间叫做 Building 180的这个艺术机构，还有一个叫做 Art for Civil Discourse 的这个非营利组织，决定要对这样的情况做一点什么，然后就创造出了这个 Paint the Void 的这个活动嘛。
Right. So agency is also another word for like company. Okay. And then we see, because it's the name of a company, that's why Building 180 is capitalized. And then for the non-profit organization, that means they don't make money. Okay, they don't make profits. Their name is Art for Civil Discourse, so that's why it is capitalized as well. Okay, and then since they got together and decided to make something, make like this
专案一个 project 的感觉。
project. So the name of the project is Paint the Void, and that's why it is capitalized.
Void is also a very interesting word.
Void is like the emptiness.
对啊，就是一个广阔无边的地方，就叫 void.
Exactly. It's a word that's very a little bit more science-based or more romantic-based.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not, we don't use it in everyday language as much. So it's really good for a title. Okay, let's take a short break. Through Paint the Void, artists paint street murals on the boards covering the entrances of closed shops.
那在透过这个 Paint the Void 这样子的一个专案计划里面，艺术家在封住倒闭的这个商店门口的木板上面呢，来漆上一些壁画。
Right, so since we know this sentence is starting with through Paint the Void, this project, the artists are doing this action with the permission of Paint the Void. They're doing it because of this project.
Okay? 对。
So it's really good to have these like beginnings to really let us know why are these artists doing this thing. If we didn't have through Paint the Void and it just said that artists are doing, these paintings, we would just be like, oh, okay.
合法吗？
But why? Why are they doing that? So 你看, when we have through Paint the Void, like then we know they're going through this project.
Yes.
They're collaborating with this project.
他们这样做是因为这样子的一个计划，所以他们才会去做画图这件事。
Exactly. And so when we talk about boards, we're talking about, when we said earlier, boarded up shop fronts, we're talking about those wooden boards that people use to cover up empty stores. And the reason why they have to cover it up is when you see an empty store, some people might break the windows to kind of steal what's inside. So you have to board up the shop
For
fronts
protection.
to protect that building. Because in the future, maybe somebody will want to buy that shop. Yeah, so you have to make sure that people don't vandalize it. So vandalize is the word that we used before. Was it yesterday? Vandalize? Graffiti. Yeah, we're talking about graffiti and vandalizing. vandalize. Okay, so this word we say it very often. It just means to 破坏一个东西. Okay, so they have to make sure that people don't vandalize these shop fronts. Okay, the streets suddenly go from being dead to very much alive.
所以 go from to 就是从什么变成什么，所以这个句子就是说，在这个壁画漆上去之后，死气沉沉的这个街道瞬间就变成充满活力的。
All right, so when we say very much alive, you could just say very alive, but very much alive is something that we say in English. It's just like a 流行的话. Yeah, very much alive. So just by painting these boards, these streets, they go from being dead. The street can't be dead, right? It's not alive. But when we say that like a shopping area or a street is dead, we mean that there's nobody there.
死气沉沉，没有生气，没有人。
And then it goes from being dead to very much alive, that these paintings are either making this area look more alive, or maybe it's bringing more people to this area, so the street is more alive. Okay. What's more, the artists, just like many who are short on work during the pandemic, get paid a small fee.
那不仅如此，这些艺术家会有一笔小小的工资。那他们和许多人一样，在疫情的时候，工作机会会很少，少得可怜。
Right. So what's more is a good way for us to know that we're going to get more information based on what we learned already. Okay. So what's more, the artists get paid a small fee. That's actually the main sentence. The artists get paid a small fee. So these people, like for painting on these boards, they get a small amount of money. Okay. They get paid a little bit of money.
对。
Okay. But because we want to give more information about these artists, that's why we have the artists, comma, just like many who are short on work during the pandemic, comma. So this part in between the commas is giving more information about the artists. And these artists are just like a lot of people who don't have work because of the pandemic. They are short on work. That means they are missing work or they lack work. 他们缺少工作，因为 because of the pandemic.
所以在逗号逗号中间这一段，其实是在补充说明我们前面提过的名词，也就是 artist 的这个部分。
Right, and here we see just like many who are short. We are taking out the word people. Just like many people who are short on work. We do this very often in English because we know we're talking about people.
所以就可以直接省略我们一直重复、一直提到的主词。对，然后刚刚老师有讲 short on 其实就是缺乏，跟刚刚用的 lack 这个字可以互相提用。
Within the first 3 weeks of the program, 32 murals went up with a plan to get to 50.
那在这个计划的前3周，他们就创造出了32幅壁画，最终的目标呢是要有50幅。
So that's pretty good. I think they're on their way to getting 50 murals. They're only 18 behind, right? So within the first 3 weeks. So here, I think a lot of people might be confused because there's first and then there's 3. But don't get confused. The first here is just saying the first, 就前面的3个礼拜, the first 3 weeks of the program. Okay. And then here we also see they're planning to get to 50. Okay. If they want to do more than 50, it would say that they're planning to get over 50. Okay, so the preposition is very important there. So to means that the maximum is
就是
50.
50. 对。
Here also the word 50, a lot of my friends are confused between like 50 or 15. Okay, so this is really very, very, very common mistake for people who are learning English. Because they see 50, they see a T, they want to say 50. Okay, but actually like 40, 30, 50, 60, 70, like 70, 60, 50, 40, 这些号码, even though there's a T, we usually make a D sound. Like 30是 30, okay? 然后20是 20, okay? 40是 40, okay? So you don't have to make a hard T sound, and that might help you be able to differentiate between 14 and 40. And also when you're saying, like, in this instance, 50 is 50, 50, right? 但是15是 15, 这个时候 T 就会很重。然后那个 E 的那个母音在后面也会更重，比较长。然后后面那个 N 的声音也会很明显。15, 对不对？15跟50。 对，差很多 but 如果没有去分辨的话，很容易会搞砸。
对，所以50-15这个 ty 跟 ten 结尾可以好好练习一下。ty 发 dy 的声音就会比较好分辨。
When the pandemic ends and the stores reopen, the plan is to auction off the murals.
那疫情终止且就是商店可以重新开张之后，他们的计划呢是要将这些壁画 auction 拍卖。
Right, so when we see re in front of a verb, that means that this action is 再一次. So reopen. So these stores are planning to reopen.
再一次开张.
Yeah, so it might be the same store, the same business.
Yeah.
Right. And then the plan is to auction off the murals. So auction, if it's used as a noun, 就是个拍卖会. But we can use it as a verb.
动词拍卖.
To auction something, but we usually have the preposition off afterwards. So auction something off. Okay. So let's continue. The funds raised will go to help those in need.
计划很完整耶，因为他们募到这个 auction 拍卖之后的这一笔钱 ，fund 这边指的就是这个资金，最后呢会拿来用在帮助穷困的人。
Right, and when we're trying to collect these funds, we will use the verb raise.
Raise.
We're trying to raise these funds to do something. And what are they going to do? They're going to help those in need. Who are those in need? It's talking about people in need. And people who are in need are people who are in need of help.
Who needs help.
In need of food, in need of shelter. People who can't afford these things are people in need. Okay, let's take a short break. When you walk down an otherwise normal city street, a piece of art can make you smile, make you think, or just add some much needed color to your life.
那当你走在原本一如往常的城市街道 ，a piece of art 这边艺术品，我们用的那个 quantifier 量词是 piece 哦，所以一件艺术品能够让你会心一笑，思考一番，或者是成为你人生增添一些极为渴望的这种色彩，尤其是 when during like depression， 当你很忧郁的时候。
Right, so in this situation, otherwise is being used as an adverb. Okay, so when you're walking down an otherwise normal city street, okay, so it's trying to say in other regards. In any other situation, this would be a normal city street, but because now it has pieces of art, it's no longer just a normal city street because it has these extra values in other regards. So walking down an otherwise normal city street, a piece of art, and this piece of art is what makes this normal city street not so normal anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, this piece of art in a piece. When we're talking about art, we use a piece of art, like the classifier is a piece of art. 就像中文是一支笔啊，一个人啊，
一件作品的件，我们就会用 piece。
A piece of art can make you smile, make you think. So it's not just pretty. It doesn't just make you happy. It also makes you think, like, oh, what are they trying to express in this art piece? Or it just adds some much needed color to your life, because a lot of people now with the pandemic are very sad because they don't have work. You know, it's a very tough time for everybody. So we might be lacking colors in our lives. So these are much needed colors. Okay, they're adding much needed color. So 这是我们很需要的一些 color. So much needed added together makes it an adjective.
形容词复合的形容词 much needed 就变成极为需要的、极为渴望，我们就可以说 much needed。然后老师刚刚有讲到一个副词很重要，叫 otherwise。那我们中文刚刚翻译是一如往常地，就是 otherwise normal， 一如往常地正常，就是一样的城市街道。
That's why mural projects are so vital.
所以呢，这就是为什么这些壁画活动非常的 vital， 就是极为重要，比 important 还要重要。
Right, so you could also say these that's why mural paintings are so important. But when something is vital, it is important because you need it in your life. It's something that's necessary for your life.
Okay. Vital 好像有一种影响生命的感觉。
Yes, that's why mural projects are so vital. They quite literally brighten up our days.
所以这就是为什么这些壁画确确实实的让我们的生活增添了很多的光彩。
right? And here we can learn about the word literally, okay? Because a lot of times when we say, oh, it brightens up my day, we mean it figuratively. We mean that it just makes me happy, okay? Wow, you really brighten up my day when I see you, okay? 你的存在就是让我很开心，可是不是真正的让我就是亮起来。Right? But the lights in this room are literally. brightening me up, okay? But these paintings, because they're around these people who really need it, they don't just figuratively brighten up their days, make them happy. It literally brightens up their day because there's more color around them. So it makes their days a lot brighter, a lot more colorful.
Literally 这个字可以翻成就是字面意义的，所以它要强调的就是 brighten up our day 在英文里面我们可以当作是你让我变得开心，可是在这边我们要强调它的字面意义真的是说点亮，因为我们这个图画壁画就是有很多色彩。
我们刚才讲那个 figuratively 是 figuratively.figuratively
它就是比较抽象的意念上面来讲的，那 literally 就是字面上来讲的。
Exactly. All right, let's go to review. All right, Minnie 老师 what is a pandemic?
Pandemic 很可怕，它是一个全球性的大流行。
And the coronavirus has resulted in everybody, being more depressed.
Yeah.
So A results in B 是什么意思？
就是 A 造成 B 有点像 cause cause.
And causes, right? And then depressing, this adjective means
很沮丧的。
And when you are short on something, like short on food, what does that mean?
代表你缺乏缺少的。
Okay, and what does it mean to raise funds?
募款募资。
Okay, and then when we say that something is literally brightening up our day, literally means
确确实实的字面上意义直接翻译过来的。
跟 figuratively 呢
？Figuratively 是比较像是字面背后的那个意义，是你比较不是字面上直接看到的衍生意的感觉。
So if I say that you figuratively brighten up my day, what do I mean?
那就是你带给我很多的快乐。
对 But if I say that you literally brighten up my day,
那就可能我拿手电筒照它，
Yes.
点亮了它的人生。
对，字面上你真的在让我 brighten up, okay, brighten up. And what does it mean when we say that something is vital?
代表它跟你生死攸关，非常重要。
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the past 2 days. We'll see you next time.
拜拜。
Bye bye.
第38页，艺术飨宴，街头壁画救地球。
Street art saves the world. In San Francisco, another street mural project aims to lift people's hearts. In 2020, the coronavirus pandemic led to many businesses in the city being shut down. This resulted in block after block of depressing, boarded-up shop fronts. An art agency called Building 180 and a nonprofit organization named Art for Civil Discourse decided to do something about it and created Paint the Void. Through Paint the Void, artists paint street murals on the boards covering the entrances of closed shops. The streets suddenly go from being dead to very much alive. What's more, the artists, just like many who are short on work during the pandemic, get paid a small fee. Within the first 3 weeks of the program, 32 murals went up, with a plan to get to 50. When the pandemic ends and the stores reopen, the plan is to auction off the murals. The funds raised will go to help those in need. When you walk down an otherwise normal city street, a piece of art can make you smile, make you think, or just add some much-needed color to your life. That's why mural projects are so vital. They quite literally brighten up our days.